You know, every now and then, a story pops up that feels like it's ripped straight from a spy thriller. But this one? The stakes were dangerously, dangerously real. So today, let's unpack a really mysterious event that happened in the skies over Iran. A 4-hour window that just about put the entire world on the brink of a major conflict.
So, here's the absolute core of the mystery. You've got this moment of just extreme tension, right? It feels like war could break out any second. And then, out of nowhere, 2 planes fly from China and land in Tehran. I mean, you can just imagine intelligence agencies across the globe scrambling, asking the one big question. What in the world is going on?
All right, so where does this all begin? It starts with Iran making this sudden, really alarming decision. I mean, completely out of the blue, they just shut down their entire airspace for 4 hours. And, as you can guess, that move sparked immediate panic all across the region.
Now, there's an official term for this. It's called a NOTAM. And let me tell you, when a country issues one of these, it is a very big deal. We're talking all civilian planes being forced to immediately change course, clearing the skies completely. In an instant, the entire airspace over Iran basically became a military-controlled no-fly zone.
And the reaction? Oh, it was instantaneous. We're talking within 30 minutes, U.S. bases in the area are on high alert, with reports of personnel being evacuated. And then, just 1 hour into this lockdown, Israel activates its entire air defense shield. We're talking Iron Dome, David Sling, the whole shebang. That kind of response really only signals one thing. They thought a massive attack was coming.
So, picture this. For 4 hours, the world is just holding its breath, staring at what should be a completely empty sky over Iran, just expecting the worst. But then, in the middle of all that silence, something happened that nobody saw coming.
I mean, the radar was supposed to be totally clear, right? All civilian traffic was gone. And yet, there they were. 2 unidentified blips suddenly appearing on the screen, flying right into that restricted airspace. 2 planes, and trackers quickly figured out they weren't just any old commercial jets. Nope, they belonged to Mahan Air. Now, for anyone in the intelligence world, that name is a massive blinking red flag.
So why is that name so important? Well, here's the thing. Mahan Air isn't your typical airline. The U.S. has officially designated it as basically a taxi service for Iran's military, alleging that it's used to move weapons, funds, you name it. So seeing these particular planes in a supposedly locked-down airspace? Yeah, that's beyond suspicious.
And it didn't take long for flight trackers to pinpoint where they came from, southern China. They took off from these major industrial hubs, flew a straight shot to Tehran, and landed right in the middle of a lockdown that, let's be honest, it really looks like they orchestrated just for this delivery.
So naturally, this brings us to the billion-dollar question, the one that every defense analyst on the planet started asking themselves. What was on those planes?
Okay, let's be real for a second. You don't go to all this trouble, shutting down your entire airspace, risking a regional conflict, coordinating a special flight with China for a shipment of, I don't know, consumer electronics? No way. This was something big, something high stakes and strategically vital.
So, it all boils down to this. What kind of advanced military hardware could possibly justify taking a risk this huge? What was so important that it needed a complete airspace shutdown just to guarantee it landed safely?
Well, as you can imagine, the speculation just went wild. At first, some analysts were thinking, okay, maybe they're testing a new Russian S-400 system. But once those Chinese planes showed up, the theories shifted. Was it a brand new, complete air defense system from China? Or maybe it was something smaller, but just as crucial, like the missiles for a system they already had, but couldn't yet turn on.
But you know, whatever was actually on those planes, the immediate impact of this 4-hour event was just immense. It sent this massive shockwave of fear and uncertainty rippling across the entire Middle East.
And the cause and effect here? It was crystal clear. Iran makes a move, closing its airspace, and the reaction from the U.S. and Israel is immediate, as if war is just moments away. We're talking bases being evacuated, air defense systems going hot, and even rumors swirling that top leadership was being rushed to secure bunkers. So why would Iran risk so much for this? Well, you have to look at the bigger picture. The strategic context here is everything. Iran knows its biggest military weakness, its Achilles heel, is its inability to deal with advanced stealth jets like the F-35. We've seen this weakness exposed in other recent conflicts. Getting their hands on a top-tier air defense system, whether it's Russian or Chinese, well, that would be an absolute game changer for them.
And really, That might be the most stunning part of this whole thing. Think about it. In just 4 hours, Iran proved it could create so much psychological pressure that it forced its most powerful enemies onto the highest possible military alert. It was an absolutely incredible display of strategic maneuvering.
So in the end, this incident was about way more than just a possible weapons shipment. What it really did was pull back the curtain on a much deeper, much more sophisticated level of strategic coordination between Tehran and Beijing. And they did it all right under the nose of Western intelligence.
And all of this leaves us with one final and pretty provocative question. By helping make this delivery happen, has China just signaled that it's willing to directly challenge the military balance of power in the Middle East? Because if that's the case, the rules of the game may have just completely changed, and you have to wonder, what happens next?